Now, the derailment of an Amtrak train has brought the service that connects Denver to California and Chicago to a stop. This is a live look at the scene near Keenesburg right now. Amtrak says at 10 last night, its California Zephyr Train 6 derailed after hitting a truck on the tracks. The company says all the passenger cars remained upright and none of the 69 passengers on board were seriously hurt. Now, there are also a lot of unanswered questions, including whether anyone was in the truck that was hit by the train. But we did get a look at that truck a little bit earlier. It looked like the train had run right through it at that time. We're going to get you more details as we learn them on air and online.
Right now, the FBI is looking for a man who they say robbed 4 banks in the metro area in the last 2 months. Agents believe this man we're going to show you robbed banks in Thornton and Denver in mid-December. Then he took a month off before targeting a bank in Boulder last Wednesday and one in Greenwood Village the next day. The FBI says he was seen on video giving a demand note each time from either a day planner or a folder. Call Metro Denver Crime Stoppers with any information.
A man who was shot by police in a shooting that hurt 6 others will be sentenced today. This happened back in July of 2022 when Denver police were trying to break up a fight in Lodo. Now,
News reporter Courtney Yoon joins us live from Denver District Court this morning. And Courtney, that man had already reached a plea deal.
Yeah, that's right. Good morning, Jordan and Corey. A couple of weeks ago, Jordan Waddy pleaded guilty to 1 felony, possession of a weapon by a previous offender. Jordan Waddy was at Larimer Beer Hall in July 2022 when he got into a fight. Police tried to stop him, and then they say he pulled out a gun. Officers shot at him and into a large crowd of people. The shots hurt 6 other bystanders. Waddy was also shot. He was facing 5 charges, but 4 were dismissed under the plea deal. A grand jury indicted Officer Brandon Ramos for the shooting, saying he did not have a clear line of fire behind Waddy. As part of the plea deal, Ramos agreed to 18 months of probation. He won't see any jail time, but the conviction means he can no longer be a police officer in Colorado. Waddy is now 23 years old and faces up to 3 years in prison. His sentencing is set to begin around 9 o'clock this morning. Jordan, Corey.
All right, we'll see what happens. Courtney, thank you. The city of Denver will no longer be able to sweep homeless encampments in the freezing cold. It was a narrow 7-6 vote yesterday to block sweeps in sub-freezing temperatures. There still will be exceptions if the city says the encampment poses more of a public health danger than the cold. City workers can still go out to offer shelter in sub-freezing temps, but they can't force people to move. The council members who supported this said there isn't always room in shelters when it's that cold.
Right now, more than 4,000 migrants are being sheltered in Denver. Well, according to the city's dashboard, 33 people arrived in the city in just 24 hours. Because of the influx in arrivals, Denver Public Schools is asking for more support from the Colorado Board of Education. In a monthly update presentation on Friday, DPS says they have seen 350 new students since December 11th. And this comes at a time when the district normally sees a slight decline in enrollment over the holiday break. In their report, DPS added the pace of new arrivals has not slowed down. In the second week of January, the district saw the highest number of new arrivals enrolling since August. DPS is calling on the Board of Education for funding support per student. The district is also adding new bus routes to meet the increased need for transportation. They're also seeking grant funding to expand food resources.
Convicted double murderer Alex Murdaugh will not get a new trial. The judge in this case made that decision yesterday. She denied Murdaugh's claims of jury tampering during the original trial. Murdaugh's team was arguing the county clerk influenced the jury. She denies those claims.
Tensions may be easing somewhat with one Middle East conflict. A framework for hostage releases and a possible ceasefire between Israel and Hamas was discussed by negotiators this weekend in Paris. This is all according to an official familiar with those talks. The proposal reportedly calls for a first phase of civilian hostage releases to occur during a 6-week pause in fighting. The initial framework would see 3 Palestinian prisoners released for each civilian hostage set free from Gaza.
I believe the proposal is a strong one. And a compelling one that, again, offers some hope that we can get back to this process. But Hamas will have to make its own decisions.
Although there has been some agreements, there are also still some hurdles. The Office of Israel's Prime Minister said that there are concerns about conditions it calls not acceptable.
Right now, pressure is mounting on the White House to respond after a drone attack by Iranian-backed military groups on a U.S. military base in Jordan killed 3 American service members. While the White House maintains that the U.S. does not seek war with Iran, members of the administration warn that a retaliatory attack could be on the horizon. NBC's Bree Jackson has the latest from Washington.
These are the U.S. service members killed in the drone strike in Jordan over the weekend. All 3 were from Georgia and leave behind grieving families.
She never expressed any fear. And Tower 22 is nothing that she ever mentioned to us. She was full of life. She enjoyed life to the fullest. She was just a ray of sunshine for anyone that came in contact with her.
The Biden administration blames an Iran-backed militia for the first U.S. fatalities in months of attacks since the Israel-Hamas war began.
Iran certainly bears a responsibility as they fund these groups that continue to use capabilities that they get from Iran.
Some lawmakers say the president must take decisive action and strike Iran. Defense officials say the U.S. is still weighing its options.
The president and I will not tolerate attack on U.S. forces, and we will take all necessary actions to defend the U.S. and our troops.
We do not seek another war. We do not seek to escalate.
Others on Capitol Hill say the White House should not engage in military action without congressional approval.
I just urge extreme caution, consultation with Congress, and a real thinking through of what this looks like in the big picture.
The president facing political pressure and fears that a response could pull the U.S. into a wider conflict. In Washington, Bree Jackson, NBC News.